Well, here we are. We're in lovely sunny Glasgow, as you can see behind me here, and we're going to film a review of Metal Gear Solid HD Collection. This has been the game, this is the biggest game of the whole of February, the month that we're currently in, which is also Metal Gear Solid month. So we're just waiting for Joe. I'm here, got my bandana on, got my fancy Superman t-shirt on, so let's see what's happening. It's the man himself, man of the hour, Joe Merrick.
Well, I've got some bad news, man. I don't know where my bandana is. I don't know where it is, I'm really sorry. I was ironing it and it's not there anymore. I don't know where it is. But we can still do the review, can't we?
I can do the review. I can still do the review.
No.
I've got my bandana. I can do the review.
No, we can share the bandana, it's fine.
You wouldn't ask a knight to share his cod piece, would you? You'd be like, no, I've left my cod piece. I'm sitting out of the round table tonight, Arthur. No, it's my cod piece, it's my ball, it's my bandana, it's my review. Metal Gear Solid 2 was a bold game, not just because of all its twists and turns, but it was essentially from the outset almost like a rehash of Metal Gear Solid 1. I can imagine people sitting playing there thinking, wait a minute, this is the same thing again, they've just substituted Alaska for an oil rig, this is it, what the hell's going on? And that's why the game is so great. It's making you think about the conventions of storytelling, that's a bold statement about any video game.
He'll know soon enough.
Metal Gear Solid 2 is maybe one of the bravest games of all time. Not only did it alienate half of its fan base by having you go riding rather than Solid Snake, it embraced that. It had a story that was extremely confusing to people new to the series, but going back and playing it now, you just think that games aren't like that anymore. The closest we get to a controversial decision like that is things like no rushing from Call of Duty, things that are cynical, designed to get free advertising from newspapers. This wasn't like that. This was a choice that was made in order to change how you viewed the series. Playing it now, playing it in high definition, you realise that this was a game that looked great back then, and it still looks great now, all those bold colours. You just play Metal Gear Solid 2 and you just think, God, we were so lucky, and we're lucky now that we can sit and play it on a big screen, watch those cutscenes, watch these amazing codec conversations that, let's be honest, most of you have skipped past, but I watch them and I just luxuriate in them. You play Metal Gear Solid 4, you don't get that. There's no wee hidden extras. That doesn't exist in this new world of Metal Gear Solid, but back then everything was fun. There was tons of pictures of naked women, and you can look at them, you can take pictures with your digital camera and look at them when your girlfriend's down the shop.
What do you think you're doing, Snake?
Well, I do anyway.
Spread your wings and fly. God be with you.
Metal Gear Solid 3 is a game that changed the series, gone are the cold, sterile places of Metal... No!
Right, Metal Gear Solid 3, at the time, didn't like it. It was alright, but I felt like it was doing too much for the PlayStation 2 to handle. Running about the jungle, it felt like you were playing a flick book sometimes because it was playing at such a low frame rate. But now, on these lovely HD consoles in widescreen, 60 frames per second, it works perfectly. Oh, just look at it. Crawling around the jungle has never felt this good. Truth be told, you'd be forgiven for thinking that this was a brand new game rather than a remake because it just looks so good and plays so smoothly. Really, what this HD remaster of Snake's Daz's Jungle Adventure does is hammer home how brilliant, how ahead of its time and technology MGS3 originally was. Also, while purists like me will choose to play with the old top-down camera, you can choose to use the MGS4 style third-person camera if you want, making MGS3 even easier to enjoy. Rounding off the MGS3 package and making this essential for Metal Gear fans is the inclusion of the two original Metal Gear games. Metal Gear 1 is simple but as tough as old boots, as illustrated here by me setting off the alarm in every screen. Metal Gear 2 though is a full-blown Metal Gear adventure shown through an 8-bit lens. It just shows that for all the fancy graphics and cutscenes MGS has nowadays, its gameplay has always been built on solid, timeless foundations. And to round off and complete the MGS collection package, we've got Peace Walker.
Beautiful Peace Walker, upgraded from its PlayStation Portable origins right up into your big fat telly.
And originally in the PSP it was a wee bit of a mess to play because the controls are a bit of a shoddy workaround, weren't they?
Aye, they were. I mean, you got used to them, but I think the best games you don't have to get used to the control schemes. It should just be good.
But this time playing it with a PlayStation 3 pad in your hand, it makes sense, and it just makes the game a lot more fun and enjoyable to play, doesn't it?
It maybe makes it a wee bit too easy. It's quite easy to see your way around levels.
Yeah.
You don't need to do as much sneaking, really.
See, when it originally came out in the PSP, I didn't like all the extraneous stuff in the mother base and the kind of real-time strategy, light stuff. But then that doesn't really matter to me anymore because the core game is so much more fun to play now, I think.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I just mainly wished I could change the name from Mother Base. I just thought Mother Base sounds a wee bit like where, I don't know, you go to buy mums.
It sounds a bit like Safeway.
Yeah, it's like home base, but for mums. It's just full of scatter cushions and disappointment.
When you actually get into the game, it's such great fun to play, especially in co-op. You know?
Oh, co-op, beautiful,
I know.
beautiful, awful,
Well,
brilliant co-op.
There's nothing better than just being able to sign on and then just get your best pal in to play some Peace Walker with you. And what does he do? Set off the alarm.
Well, right. The alarms only get set off when I run out of suppression. when my suppressor runs out, then my patience runs out. So in many ways, I actually think it's Hideo Kojima's fault that I set off so many alarms.
But overall, I think it just rounds off how amazing a package the Metal Gear Solid HD collection is. It's essential for any Metal Gear fan, I think.
It is. It's out of all these HD collections, you can tell it's just a game series that it deserves to be played over and over again.
So the MGS collection just cements our love for Solid Snake and Big Boss and, well, to an extent, Raiden as well.
We love all those chaps.